Bitter weather shuts down OU's campus tomorrow. Former President Trump undergoes his second impeachment trial, and Norman Food and Shelter helps locals battle with the harsh weather. This is OU Nightly. Thanks for joining us for OU Nightly. I'm Shannon Ehrhardt.
And I'm Audrey Goodson.
We begin tonight with a bitter cold weather.
And a chance for slick streets tonight and tomorrow. And that is what is pushing OU classes to move to remote learning tomorrow.
Because we think there will be a large amount of black ice everywhere tomorrow, that we keep people at home, but safely able to virtually participate in their classroom activities.
OU sent the campus closure alert at noon today in order to prepare students for their online classes. Kleisel says the icy weather isn't going anywhere, and the campus committee closure watches the icy weather and road conditions the rest of this week, 24 hours a day. No closure decisions have been made for the rest of the week.
But we do know that the weather is going to get much worse before it gets better.
The OU Nightly weather team is covering all angles for us overnight. Let's start with Megan Gold. Megan, what's the latest?
That's right, guys. What we do know is that it's cold, but there is still so much uncertainty with these next couple of days and what we can expect for our weather. Just over the last couple of hours, more winter weather advisories have been issued, and I do expect some more of our Oklahoma counties to be included in this advisory as we go throughout the next couple of hours and even the next couple of days. Our temperatures right now are below freezing for all of us. The freezing line set up just to the northwest of Idabel, which is typically our warmest Oklahoma city. They will drop below freezing today as well. Colton Williams is outside of the Gaylord balcony right now with more on what things are like outside. Colton?
Yeah, Megan, it's no secret that it's very, very cold out here today. We've been outside for just a few minutes now. Temperatures are very well below freezing now. We have also seen some freezing drizzle begin to fall out of the sky here over just the last few minutes, and that's kind of beginning to accumulate on some of these grassy areas and some of the metal surfaces out here. I'll step out here for just a moment, and you can see the intersection behind me of Lindsay and Asp Street here in Norman. So far, traffic conditions are great. There's nothing to report here as far as traffic incidents, but I have just recently spoken with the city of Norman. We're going to talk all about their response plan to the winter weather tomorrow, coming up here in just a few. But for now, ladies, back to you.
Thanks, Colton. Well, tonight, Oklahoma is reporting an increase in new COVID cases. The Oklahoma State Department of Health is reporting 1,070 new cases of COVID-19 today, bringing the total active cases in the state to 24,516. The state is also reporting 53 new deaths today, which brings Oklahoma's total death count from COVID-19 to 3,870. COVID vaccines continue to be distributed to healthcare workers and residents over the age of 65.
And big news from the nation's capital. Today is the first day of former President Trump's impeachment trial. OU Nightly's Libbey Dean reports spending the semester in Washington, D.C. She joins us now live. Libbey?
I'm here outside the Capitol where the second impeachment trial of former President Trump is unfolding. The Senate just debated whether they have the constitutional authority to try a former president, and it passed 56-44. Senate lawmakers will decide whether to convict or acquit Trump on the charge that he incited the deadly riot on January 6th. House managers will begin their arguments tomorrow and are given 16 hours each. The trial is likely to continue into the weekend and possibly next week. Live from Washington, D.C., I'm Libbey Dean.
Thanks, Libbey. A shooting in Buffalo, Minnesota has left 5 people injured. Deyton Diller has that and the rest of the stories from around the country in News Center. Deyton?
Thanks, Audrey. A 67-year-old Minnesota man opened fire at a healthcare clinic, wounding 5 patients. That happened around noon today in Buffalo, a small community north of Minneapolis. 3 of the victims were critically injured. They've been airlifted out. Police arrested and took the man into custody. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz said there were improvised explosive devices found at the scene. A Washington State trooper, Steve Houle, was killed in an avalanche while snowmobiling in Kittitas County, Washington yesterday. Houle was a 28-year-old veteran of the Washington State Patrol.
It's tough. to hear, you know, Steve. You just can't imagine that you're not going to see Steve Houle anymore. He's a fixture around here.
This was at least the 15th avalanche-related death in a week. The first week of February marked a record for the deadliest week of avalanches in U.S. history. Federal aviation investigators say Kobe Bryant's helicopter pilot was at fault for his decision to fly into thick clouds. The crash happened last January. National Transportation Safety Board officials revealed today that the pilot's spatial disorientation resulted in the aircraft crashing into a hillside. An NTSB official says that the pilot was flying under visual flight rules, and with the restriction of vision from the clouds, there was a violation of federal regulations. Bryant, his 13-year-old daughter, and 7 others, including the pilot, were killed on impact. In other news, Coca-Cola has introduced a new bottle made of 100% recycled plastic. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Deyton. Well, this stretch of freezing temperatures will be deadly for anyone forced to spend extended time outside. But there's hope for those who need help. Find out what you can do to help Norman Food and Shelter. And now they are helping the homeless.
Plus, Amazon's Alexa has a pretty cool new feature. Find out how it can help you get through the pandemic next on OU Nightly.
If you haven't heard by now, we are in for a record-breaking cold. That means a serious situation for those who are living on the streets. One night without help could cause frostbite or worse. OU Nightly's Mckenzie Gladney is live at Food and Shelter for friends with ideas on what we can all do to help.
Ice and cold temperatures are hitting Norman yet again. Food and Shelter is making sure that residents here in Norman are lended a helping hand if they need one. Food and Shelter, a partner organization with United Way of Norman, offers 2 hot meals a day, a food pantry, and a housing program to service and empower those in need. But Norman is up against harsh weather. Food and Shelter is extending to 24-hour service until the end of next week.
When the weather reports came in and it became clear we were going to have some of the deadliest cold weather and the most dangerous cold weather in probably the last 60 years, we kind of scrambled together and thought we need to make sure that the people who are unhoused, people who live outside, have access to warmth as many hours a day as is possible.
Food and Shelter understands that many people will still be left unhoused in this weather. The executive director says there are alternative resources.
There's somebody who doesn't have a place to stay tonight and they're out in the cold. Salvation Army has beds for both single women and single men. The city of Norman has a temporary shelter open through the winter where people can go in and stay inside for the night. And of course, like I mentioned, people can come here.
Heipel says those resources are not suited best for children, but Food and Shelter does accommodate families. For those seeking assistance, you are told to just come by, as it is open to anyone who needs food. For those who wish to donate, Food and Shelter is seeking sleeping bags, thermal underwear, hot chocolate, and coffee. Reporting live, Mckenzie Gladney, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Mckenzie. Another issue facing so many people right now, the struggle to find a place to get a COVID test. Emma Sears has that information on an easier solution. Emma?
If you're looking for a COVID-19 test, Amazon's Alexa may be able to help lead the way. When prompted, the smart speaker will list all of the testing sites in your nearby area, as well as helping you locate the closest vaccine trials within 30 miles of you. The Amazon speaker can even go as far as calling testing sites to help book your appointment. After launching its recently deleted feature, Instagram is yet again planning on wowing its users with another exciting feature. The social media giant announced that they are working on a vertical stories feed that will allow users to scroll through posts vertically instead of horizontally. Right now, users browse through stories with taps and horizontal swipes. It's unclear when the vertical feature will launch, but its development is seen as Instagram's attempt to compete with their social media counterpart, TikTok. Monday evening, Musk announced that his company Tesla has brought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. The electric car company has announced that they will begin accepting the digital currency as payment for their vehicles. Musk is a longtime supporter of the digital currency company, and this is the largest corporate purchase of Bitcoin ever. And online learning isn't just for students. A new site called Get Set Up is working to deliver a virtual education to older adults who may have too much time on their hands right now. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Emma. A second grader spreads her Valentine's Day love in a special way. To her, it's much more than receiving chocolates and passing out cards to her friends.
And Megan is talking about record-breaking frigid temperatures. Megan?
Freezing, drizzle, cold temperatures, and school closures. I'll have more coming up in my full forecast. Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Megan Gold, and it is a busy weather day here at OU Nightly. Lots to talk about, so let's get to it. Here's a look out of what should be our Oklahoma City skyline cam. It is actually frozen over right now. Those temperatures quickly dropping and will soon be in the teens. Those winds out of the north helping bring in even cooler air and keeping those temperatures feeling even colder. Some of us feeling in triple digits, and those current temperatures were below freezing across the state. Idabel, if you can call it lucky, is 36 degrees right now. This line right here is what's called the freezing line, and as it continues to push to the southeast, we'll see the entire state with temperatures below freezing. And if you can believe it, right now we are actually warmer than Denver, Colorado. They're sitting in the upper 30s, and Kansas City 12 degrees. That is what's going to make its way here towards us in Norman. And as we go throughout the next couple of days, even colder weather headed our way. This purple is the coldest of the air, and as we head into the weekend, it's going to plummet to the south, reaching Norman by Saturday and even down to southern Texas. So this is a major weather event. By the time we get to Tuesday, it will begin to head back up north, but lots of treble headed our way here over the next couple of days. And the trickiest part with this winter weather is radar. Just because you don't see it on radar doesn't mean it's not there. Anything that falls from the sky right now will freeze, and so you can see a little bit of this blue is what's falling right now. But like I said, just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. Northern Oklahoma also seeing some of that freezing rain right now. But Colton Williams is out on the Gaylord balcony with information about how Norman is planning to take care of us the next couple of days. Colton?
Yeah, Megan, once again, it's incredibly cold out here. Once again, that's not a secret to anybody. I will say, though, in the last 5 to 10 minutes or so, we have seen an increase in the amount of freezing drizzle that's begun to fall once again just since the last time we spoke. So that, at the moment, not causing a whole lot of problems for motorists. Still behind me, people making their way up and down Lindsay and Asp Street with, complete ease. There's nothing to worry about at the moment. Motorists still just taking it slow, taking their time. But we will say that we are stressing that conditions are going to deteriorate before they improve, and that comes tomorrow morning with the next round of freezing rain and ice. I spoke with the Normans, with the city of Norman just a few moments ago. They told me that they have crews out on the roads right now pre-treating major roads, bridges, and intersections, and that they have a fleet ready to be mobilized as early as tomorrow morning as the situation continues to develop. So with all that, Megan Gold, back to you.
Thank you so much, Colton. And folks, that is going to be the story as we head throughout the next couple of days. You're going to want to stay off the road if at all possible, because freezing rain is likely here over the next couple of days. As we head through tomorrow morning, we'll get a little bit, but even more expected by the time we get through Friday. So expecting possible issues with those power lines. Of course, anything that falls, like I said, will be sticking. So power lines and roads, and expecting this pink to become more widespread as we go throughout the next couple of days. This blue, just seeing some slick spots as of right now, but with those temperatures being as cold as they are, we are expecting major issues with travel, school closures. Norman and the University of Oklahoma has already announced we will be virtual for tomorrow, and that could be the case for the rest of the week. We will have to see what they plan to do, but expecting major issues with those travel and possible issues with power outages. But the biggest issue with this system is that we don't know the exact timing, but we do know it will be cold, and we do know that precipitation will be falling. So whenever it does decide to fall, it is going to stick to those roadways, and it is going to be extremely cold as we go throughout the next couple of days. So you're going to want to be careful on those sidewalks. Run your water at night to keep those pipes from freezing. Keep those pets indoors and stay off the roads if at all possible. That 7-day forecast showing very, very cold temperatures. We're not going to warm up until later next week, the coolest of those temperatures on Saturday and Sunday. So if you're headed outside for any Valentine's plans, please be sure to bundle up. These temperatures are very, very dangerous. We'll have more coming up right after the break.
Well, Valentine's Day just got sweeter as one special second grader spends her holiday serving others. 7-year-old Amberly Schroyer is donating Valentine's cards, flowers, and chocolates to Norman homeless shelters. She and her mom will pass out the gifts Thursday and Sunday at Norman Food and Shelter, Salvation Army, Bridges of Norman, and Mission Norman. Amberly says she's looking forward to doing this for other holidays in the future.
I really want to do Christmas and let's see, Thanksgiving. We didn't do that one, and I want to see what me and my mommy can come up with.
Well, they still need donations, and you can help by emailing sensationalcelebration@gmail.com. We'll have more on Amberly and what she's doing for her community in the coming weeks.
That's very heartwarming news, Audrey. I really like to see that. But I did hear that some student athletes from OU are nailing it both in and out of uniform. What can you tell us about it, Arnaldo?
Well, these student athletes continue their streak of academic excellence for another semester and show their value.
OU women's basketball faces off against the Iowa State Cyclones at home tonight. They'll look to fix their mistakes after losing their last matchup in January. OU junior Taylor Robertson drained 8 3-pointers in that game, but their effort wasn't enough. The Lady Sooners dropped a 3-point lead in the fourth quarter as the Cyclones hit a pair of clutch layups to seal the win 64-63. With a 2-game losing streak and only 2 wins in their last 5, OU will look to avenge their loss and bounce back tonight at 7. A few short weeks before March Madness, Lon Kruger talks about the importance of the depth for the Sooners and how a few key players could be key down the stretch.
Our depth has been key all year, whether it be foul trouble or COVID or a sprained ankle or whatever. Guys off the bench have played their minutes well. We've had different starting lineups, of course. But yeah, we got a lot of guys that we rotate in there and hold their own and make progress. So that depth is a huge key for us.
And a group that didn't have to worry about rebounding was OU student athletes with their 15th consecutive semester with a cumulative GPA of at least 3.0. Student athletes extend their classroom success by posting a 3.19 for the fall semester, including 94 students finishing with a perfect 4.0, showing their excellence on and off the field. Oklahoma State traveled to Lawrence, Kansas to face the Jayhawks and came out on the wrong side of an upset. Cowboys star Cade Cunningham committed 7 turnovers and 4 fouls and was only 7 for 18 from the field. Kansas took their biggest lead 41-32 with 15 minutes to go and held on to finish 78-66 over OSU. The Jayhawks rolled past the 23rd ranked Cowboys after recently dropping out of the poll on Big Monday. And the Thunder take another loss last night to the Lakers in Los Angeles. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander finished with 29 points and a near triple-double to lead OKC to overtime. Yet the Thunder struggled in OT, only finding the net 1 time along with a shot clock violation and a turnover. The Lakers scored 7 straight in the final minutes after trailing for most of regulation, winning the matchup 119-112. And LeBron James joins a list of players showcasing their frustration with All-Stars weekend. James has been vocal about not wanting to have an All-Star weekend this season due to COVID-19. By the look of it, LeBron looks like he needs the rest. We'll be right back.
In a state of health emergency after the country's death toll exceeded 80,000. Death toll exceeded 80,000. French lawmakers extended the bill that February 16th.
Thank everybody.
That's all for now. Audrey?
Yep.
Newsroom's on next, so just make sure you're quiet.
Yes, I can hear you. I'm Purpura at the OU Nightly Update Desk. President Biden discussed a $1.9 trillion aid package and his plan to raise the minimum wage with CEOs, chief executives of Walmart. I'm Purpura at the OU Nightly Update Desk. President Biden discussed a $1.9 trillion aid package and his plan to raise minimum wage with CEOs. Chief executives of Walmart, Gap, Lowe's, and JP Morgan Chase were present. That's all for now. Thanks, Morgan.
Well, let's get one last check on the frigid forecast. Megan?
Guys, it's cold, it's blistery out there, and it's only going to get colder as we go throughout the next couple of days. Here's a look at those temperatures right now, and this freezing line setup will eventually make its way through the state, so all of us, including Ida Bell, will be below freezing. But we're going to keep an eye with these temperatures over the next couple of days as we have a chance for some freezing rain, and then we get even colder by the weekend. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks so much for watching OU Nightly. We'll be back tomorrow at 4:30.
And remember that there are no classes tomorrow due to the pending winter weather. Good night.